Staring at the screen, the colors spin. Just a wait screen, where do I begin? This isn't a show, it's just a delay. Still here you are, you decided to stay. It's not a movie, ain't no special guest, just a wait screen, not the very best. Yet you're glued, anticipation's high for the stream to start. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Yes, it's late, we'll be starting soon. In this digital world we croon for the content we've yet to see. On a wait screen, stuck in reverie. Don't you worry, soon it will commence. Right now you're here at my expense. Just a teaser, a colorful jest. It's a wait screen, you know the rest. Patience is a virtue, they say, but this wait screen's making you sway to a tune only time can keep. As you watch, half awake, half asleep. Oh, the seconds tick, but the fun's on hold. The wait screen's tale is getting old. But just hang tight, don't click away. The show will start, come what may. Don't you worry, soon it will commence. Right now you're here at my expense for the content we've yet to see. On a wait screen, stuck in reverie. Don't you worry, soon it will commence. Right now you're here at my expense. Just a teaser, a colorful jest. It's a wait screen, you know the rest. Don't you worry, soon it will commence. Right now you're here at my expense. Just a teaser, a colorful jest. It's a wait screen, you know the rest. Patience is a virtue, so they say, but this wait screen's making you sway to a tune only time can keep. As you watch, half awake, half asleep. Oh, the seconds tick, but the fun's on hold. The wait screen's tale is getting old. But just hang tight, don't click away. The show will start, come what may. Wait screen's tale is getting old. But just hang tight, don't click away. The show will start, come what may. Staring at the screen, the colors spin. Just a wait screen, where do I begin? This isn't a show, it's just a delay. Still here you are, you decided to stay. It's not a movie, ain't no special guest. Just a wait screen, not the very best. Yet you're glued, anticipation's high for Grim to start. Oh my, yes, this wait screen will be starting late. In this digital world that we create for the content we've yet to see. On a wait screen, stuck in reverie. Don't you worry, soon it will commence. Right now you're here at my expense. Just a teaser, a colorful jest. It's a wait screen, You know the rest. Don't you worry, soon it will commence. Right now you're here at my expense. Just a teaser, a colorful jest. It's always screen, you know the rest. Don't you worry, soon it will commence. Right now you're here at my expense. Just a teaser, a colorful jest. It's always screen, you know the rest.
Going now.
In the grim, dark future, there's no time for fun. But when the day's battles are said and done, John, Danny, and Dickie are here for a laugh. In a galaxy torn, they're the ones with the craft. It's grim after dark, where the bolters spark, where dreadnoughts nap and orcs embark. Tune in, grab a pint, and don't be late for tales of heresy and a healthy debate.
Man, that rough cutoff every time gets me. Now, what an evolution of intro. Danny, Dickie, get in here. This is the level of effort we're getting in here. Welcome to Grim After Dark. My name is John, of course, by Danny and Dickie.
Hello.
Danny, your television's looking small today, but I appreciate that it makes our heads look similarly sized.
You know, John, I'm happy that we're kind of on the same level right now. This is we're coming at this as equals, you know. We both have
both have Dickie just messing with the settings.
You guys don't understand though that John and I have truly massive heads. Like we're a meeting of the minds, but like not in a good way.
Well, you're very
like
big people. I thought
because we bumped heads because our heads are so big.
Yeah.
I thought I was a big person, and then you guys are just really big people, and I was like, oh,
yeah. This isn't actually
fat.
Well, I way no fat shame in this house.
This isn't actually a hat. It's a burlap sack for potatoes. It just
That's Santa's Christmas bag.
It fits on pretty well. Guys, we've been off for a few weeks, sort of. We obviously we had our Hot Frosty episode, which was strangely well received.
It was.
What is that? Cheersing with?
It's just a cup. It's a Tennessee Titans cup that I got for my wife because she's.
I thought it was a branded Hot Frosty cup for a second. I was going to be like, wow, way to commit to it.
That was more like a cheers to you guys, less like a brand placement or product placement. This isn't.
If the Tennessee Titans do want to sponsor us, we are available.
Absolutely,
fairly cheaply.
This isn't Madam Web. That's what I was going for.
What if it was?
Then there'd be a lot more Pepsi in this episode.
Danny died researching spiders in the rainforest.
Drinking Pepsi.
Drinking Pepsi.
Are you Madam Web in this?
This is as tool as guys, we'll get to Warhammer at some point, but my favorite part, Madam Web's superpower is vehicular homicide. Because all she does is hit people with various cars. Because the bad guy falls for that not once, but twice. So yeah, my only weakness is being hit by an ambulance.
Does he not have does his spider sense not go off? I don't know. What's going on there?
Well, she sees the future, so she can adjust last minute for his spider sense.
That makes sense.
Very quickly.
You're all stuck in her web.
That definitely always changes the danger. Being able to see in the future,
At some point, this show is the only thing about 40K is the hobby streams that we do on the weekend, and this show is just going to be complaining about movies.
That is true. Now we're talking about it. I would love to hear Peter the Falcon's review of Madam Web, or at least I want to hear him surmise it, because I think that would be good. Dickie, you brought up a really good point.
Yeah,
this is our comment of the week.
Yeah,
which doesn't come from our YouTube channel or our Discord or my Blue Sky that I've been searching. It's been harder to find content since I quit Twitter, but I'm also much happier that I don't have to interact with Twitter anymore.
That's good news.
But it came from a local Discord I'm a member of.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and Danny is also a member in, and it relates to our hobby stream. Where the guy said, "Hey, Junkie, watching your hobby and you're painting direct from the pot and not using a wet palette.
Really?
It's triggering me.
Were you doing that? I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, but so I'm a classy gent. You know,
Yeah,
I
but live in the woods. Yeah. Go
keep
ahead.
things. I use this wonderful Ziploc bag
Oh
to
my god! You
shape
don't have
and
a
form.
wet palette?
Well, I have a wet palette right here.
Well, what did you use it?
This wet palette right here.
I bet it's dry as a bone. That one.
2 years ago. Yeah, this is.
It's drier than B. Arthur.
Yeah, this is
that thing.
B. Arthur in a nunnery dry. It's
She's dead.
but that's why she's in a nunnery. She's entombed. But this was. Do you know where I got this from, Dickie?
LVO, I would imagine, where we got.
Yeah,
all
it's one
our-
of the prizes we gave away to people who played on stream at LVO a few years ago. and we just
a
took
lot
them
of them just gave them back.
So how did you
nothing
get one?
nothing against Army Painter. They do a fantastic product, but like
All
literally,
players
we were like,
don't like army painters. What we were told because they were like, I don't want it.
no, I think they just didn't care. They were like, "Is it money? No, okay, then you can have it there."
It's fair. But with that feedback, by the way, duality of man right here, because I was called out for triggering people for not using a wet palette.
Yeah.
And then I was also told that I was a person of taste and refinement for not using a wet palette. So
Really?
yeah, John S. right underneath there. But I did go to the fine people at the Army Painter, and I paid money for this, by the way. So if you want to send us
Wow.
free
Real
stuff,
money.
that would be even better. But yeah, so I have more.
Yeah,
of
we
the
know
little-
Phil. So like,
Yeah.
just saying.
Yeah, get us on like
We're
the
cool. You'll vouch for us, I bet.
low
Well-
tier of this. Yeah, he probably pretends that he doesn't know us anymore. But yeah, so this Saturday, last Saturday, Dickie and I did a little tester paint stream. I want to thank everyone who showed up for that. There was way more people. Like we expected no one. So that was a pleasant surprise.
Nice.
I managed to finish off all of my night weapons for my war dogs for LVO, which means I just have to receive, build, and assemble Lancer, and then I'm done.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Wow.
Dickie, and I've committed to it now because I've submitted my list. There's no going back.
Yeah.
It's not like BCP lets you adjust lists up until the cutoff date.
No, they do.
Doesn't seem like a thing. So yeah, the only thing now I have to do is build and paint that Lancer, and I'll be doing that over this weekend. And then all three of us should actually be on this Saturday's hobby stream. Now, thanks to the chat on the night called Only Hands, which yes, we're aware other people have done it, but as Danny quite correctly pointed out when we were talking about it, Simpsons did it. This is Warhammer community streaming. Everything has already been done. But I did
Except for our extreme battle report. That still needs to be filmed.
that still needs to be done. I do have a much better drone now for that.
Oh,
I'm
Jesus.
excited.
So we can still do that. Maybe we do. Okay, we're just spitballing here. We're gonna get to dick jokes and stuff soon. I promise.
Yeah, don't worry, guys. It's coming.
Don't worry.
Poop
Just
jokes and
like
farts
me.
is gonna happen at some point. We just
Okay.
we're gonna talk about this stuff seriously.
Danny, how do you feel about filming an extreme TTS battle report?
That's
Yeah,
so
you
you're-
will be-
I'm shoving your kid out the door. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, my kid out the door as he showed up there. He just wanted to say hi. He's been on camera accidentally once. Okay, so an extreme TTS battle report. So you go to a Clutna Lake or something like that.
Yeah.
You have to have cell phone reception because you got to tether your phone to use Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And you just film yourself playing on a laptop. While I film myself playing on a laptop on like ocean shores on the beach.
Oh, this is not even close to what I was thinking you guys were gonna do. Okay.
And then
What were
don't
you
actually-
thinking we were going to do, Dickie?
like just like put a table randomly out in the wilderness and play.
Well,
a
that
game
was the
of 40K.
plan until one of us decided to rudely move away.
Was it you?
Yeah,
Because you
called
don't
for
live
us.
in the place you were anymore.
It was me, yeah.
Yeah.
That was the original plan when there was going to be like epic drone shots, and we'll still probably do it at some point. I do have leave and family in Alaska I can ignore to do this. But I think there's humor in doing a short where we do an epic battle report, and it shares my opinion about TTS when all you see is two people on laptops. You don't see any of the game. You don't see anything of what they're doing. They're just typing away on laptops and be like, oh man.
Oh man.
Do you think we need sound? I feel like we shouldn't have any sound, or maybe like some really exciting music playing, like while
Just
we're doing
really
it for, like, 2
exciting,
hours.
epic music, and then the sound of mechanical keyboards. Even though we're using like a MacBook, there's mechanical keyboard sounds and really over the top epic music. It's going to be the most effort I put into something that gets 3 views, but you know that's sort of where we're at.
That's pretty much us, yeah.
Yeah, we've been out a while, so the community dumpster is filled up a little bit. I've kind of renamed. When we're more serious, and Val was all pushing us to be like the Comp 40K podcast because he's all about that. This was State of Play, or fuck, what was the other thing I called it? There's State of Play, and then there was another thing, but now it's just around the net. It's now just community dumpster, and it's where I collect things I find around the community. Generally, that belong in the dumpster. That's about as good a segment intro I can make for this. We've been out a couple weeks. Small things happened since Christmas, I would say, including the launch of a brand new Primarch.
Look at that pretty boy.
Looking good.
He looks great.
It's Fulgrim has returned with his Emperor's Children in tow.
Yeah.
No doubt here to hijack the Warhammer preview at Las Vegas Open in a couple weeks.
Yes.
With the Danny, I wonder what power armored shape holding a whip and a sword will be revealed at the Las Vegas Open.
Yeah, probably a generic Emperor's Children Chaos.
No, it's going to be your favorite Emperor's Children, Lucius the Eternal. Clearly,
real talk. It would be hilarious if it was just a standard Chaos Lord.
It would be.
It's actually just a champion for a Noise Marine squad. That would be the best, really.
It's a champion for the Noise Marine squad, and then they announced that the Finecast Lucius is back in stock on the web store.
Oh no!
Oh, I don't even have to buy one. I already have one.
I already have one. Him and his gross whip.
What are you guys' thoughts? And I hope this is the right slide here. This is now our second Fulgrim within a year.
Yeah.
Following up from the Forge World resin version.
Yeah.
Are you guys surprised?
Basically the same model.
Well, no, it's not. But
No, it's not the same model.
No, let's just stop that. That's just.
I'm really glad that the plastic one is coming out though, because that resin one fucking sucks.
Oh, you have that, Danny?
The wings are terrible. No, I don't have them. I'm not buying that model. The wings are gonna like be destroyed the first time you take it out on the table.
Yeah, there's
that thing
no
is
way
like a
anyone can
liability.
play with those friggin' wings. Like they're ridiculous.
Plus, the new one's wings look better too. I think.
Interesting.
I'm team resin wings because I think the 30K Fulgrim looks better, but I think the 40K Fulgrim is better because you can play with it without it disintegrating.
Yeah.
I like the wings because they look like one of those like latex bodysuits that people wear sometimes, and like the crinkles in it look like that. And I thought that was kind of a good, like, I don't know, like
homage to gross sex things.
Yeah, an homage to how disgusting it is. Plus, the genital mutilation is.
Yeah, no, that's something.
The cloaca plug at the very front of it there is also a very interesting design choice.
So do you think the wings are that small, or do you think we're just seeing it on a weird angle? Like we kind of see that.
Well, they're furled. They're not like out at full extension like the Forge World ones are. Secondly, like how lazy is it for them to just plaster armor over the front of it? That's like easy as hell to sculpt.
Yeah.
Whereas this one actually has great detail on in its crotch area, which is probably one of the most important areas that Fulgrim has.
How many people are going to go to that crotch area where you have that cloaca plug and just sculpt a massive dong?
I mean,
John, that's a risk the Games Workshop decided it was worth taking.
Yeah.
Artistically.
It'll be really interesting to see if the gem at the front is a separate piece you have to just plug in.
Or if it's not, there's trouble brewing.
And then I would love for you, Danny, when you buy this Fulgrim, as I'm pretty sure you will.
I will.
When you assemble it, then Dickie, when you put that gem in place, just go.
I haven't bought an Angron yet.
Really? No! Oh, Angron's so awesome.
He is really cool, but his wings make him really hard to paint assembled. But yeah, beautiful. I, for one, am happy that our new Forge World overlords have been overruled by plastic so quickly.
Yeah.
But here's kind of some of the internet feedback. In this little meme, it kind of It sums up a lot of the feelings that I think people have with this. It is what you say versus what I hear. Fulgrim edition.
Yeah.
What you say is the sculpt looks bad. The heresy model looks better. He wanted perfection. Now he's this, and he's going to be so broken on release. And what I hear is, no, you ruined the fanboy Primarch. I don't want to bang him anymore with that face.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
Danny, how many Emperor's Children's players just have latent closeted homosexuality that comes out in just rage and anger towards the idea of female
You
characters?
think it's latent?
It might be.
It's direct in your face.
Yep, that's usually what they do. Yeah, probably a large percentage of them, John, I would say.
Large percentage right there. And what they're really talking about is the variety of faces that you can give Fulgrim.
The
Four.
helmet, is it wrong that the helmeted is the worst option?
Yeah, right?
It's
I've seen so many people say how much they like the helmet, but it looks just terrible.
It looks like the front part is skin. And then the gold part around his helmet. So it just looks like a hat more than a helmet.
It doesn't fit his lore either. Like Fulgrim would never go out not like wearing a helmet. He would go out in his beauty in Dane's battle.
He needs to smell and taste what he's doing, I feel like.
Yeah. Twice.
I think that's what he's doing in the first face picture in the top left right there. Smelling and tasting.
Top right is my favorite head, and that's probably what I would pick.
What do you like so
really?
much about that one?
Because he looks confused.
He looks very confused.
The faces are meme worthy though. Like they really are. Like they're kind of goofy. Like a couple of them are kind of goofy. Like bottom right is probably the best face, I think.
Brutal. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, there's some brutality there. I'm just gonna, replace it with a standard intercessor helmet. Call it good.
Perfect.
Let the rage fly. Just magnetize. So you just magnetize the head to goad your opponents. Be like, yeah, it's my Fulgrim. I had him commission painted, so he's beautiful golden demon level. This is helmet, just an intercessor head, or the head from a Deredeo Dreadnought.
Oh, for God's sake.
What about just the head from whatever army you're playing against? Like you have different heads, so you put like a gaunt head on him if you're playing Tyranids.
Wait, what if you just ask your opponent which his favorite is, and then you just do the complete opposite? They put it on the model.
Which of these heads do you hate? Because I want to make sure that
absolutely hate, and you pop it on the head. Bam.
Helmet.
Helmet would be like 99%. Yeah.
Johan, back from the paint stream, how's it going? Says there's very little veininess over him. That's the problem. Danny, what ratio of skin to vein should Fulgrim have?
Oh, it should be as you would expect, probably like a 4-to-1 ratio, as is natural.
Yeah, 4 skins to 1 vein.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And with someone with like, I would say pale skin, bare skin, if you will, that's probably the nicer way to say that.
Sense.
And is, he's going to have a lot of veins showing.
Yeah.
Maybe in some uncomfortable places.
When you're painting him up, is he cut or is he just natural, like his flesh?
He's perfect, right?
I mean, I'm sorry, did you ask if he was
like
cut?
Is his skin cut? Like are there cuts on his skin?
Oh, cuts.
I thought you asked something very different. Okay.
No. How can you cuck skin, Dickie? Come on now.
He could find a way.
What does he do? Peel off his skin and put it in a dirty hotel chair in the corner?
Yeah.
And then be like, watch this skin.
Watch me do this to myself and then grow new skin and then like eat it or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful. This was, I think, my favorite head that I showed. This showed up very early.
So Danny, there is that head. Someone already has a 3D print version of that ready to go.
Oh.
So yeah, in preparation for new Chaos Demon head conversion, I'm releasing Zoolander Marine head replacement.
Good.
Which so good.
So good. It's perfect, really.
What I want to know is, can we modify it for other models? So when you scale it down, every single one of your Emperor's Children army
Our Zoolander?
is just Zoolander doing blue steel.
That'd be
Hmm.
friggin' unbelievable.
Usually for these, I'll black out the person who posted it and the place I found it, or Dickie found it, to kind of keep anonymity when we rip the shit out of them. But this is so impressive. Go find it.
Oh,
His name
we
is
need so many of these to live in the world.
Devor Ketchter on Facebook. Go find it, and you can buy that STL, and you can make
It
it.
says free for all. It's like completely free.
Oh, completely free. Even better.
Yeah.
Go get that file. Can Blue Steel pivot right at all? Actually, he can. Was it? Yeah.
Can you turn left or
When
not
your
right?
opponent tries to charge you with this, if he tries to make a right hand turn, just be like, no, you can't do that.
No,
It's
yeah.
It
against the
costs
rules.
2 inches of movement.
Yeah. It can only be done at the very end of the game once his narrative arc has been completed. The other thing that came out this week, I'm really happy the guy actually made the model, because the Auspex Tactics copy paste job in the model just hurt my brain looking at trying to figure out what it is. Danny Dickie, welcome to the third different type of Death Guard Lord. This is the Lord of Poxes, I think.
Cool.
I think.
Because there's in Death Guard lore, there's 3 different kinds of lords. There is the Lord of Contagion,
Lord of Virulence.
Lord of Virulence. We have models for those 2. And the third is the Lord of Poxes. So my thought is probably that guy right there.
Not in Terminator armor.
Not in Terminator armor, which I kind of like.
Yeah, me too.
Because I feel like you can't just attach every character to Terminators. And then, I don't know, I think part of me is sad that Death Guard gets another character.
Sure.
And they need another unit.
Yeah, where I would love a different unit. And while he's really cool, this big ass sword he has on his back is really nice.
Do you think it's going to be like Cypher's? He actually can't use it.
Oh, no. He uses
Oh, no, he's going to use it. Yeah,
Okay,
this guy's going to use it. But I think he's probably going to buff the unit he's with. Big Pop. Oh, I wouldn't even do that joke. Lord have mercy would be the third Death Guard Lord. Only when I'm playing. Wait, I got something for
Uncle
that.
Jesse.
What this brings me to, though, is my initial one is like, I need a new unit for Death Guard. I don't need another character. I have a case over there with like 30 characters in them. What do you think about the rumors and kind of thought going around that demons are going away and they're going into the god-specific books? So Death Guard would get Nurgle demons in them as part of their army. Emperor's Children are going to get Slanesh demons as part of the army. Do you think there's any credence to that, or is that just kind of people being very hopeful for some variety?
I mean, it'd be good for those books to have more units. I think that's good for them in that respect. But I'd be really surprised if they decided that Chaos Demons weren't their own army anymore.
Mm-hmm. Could you see both happening?
You mean just... I'm sorry, wait, what?
Could you see...
Oh, you mean like if okay, so you're saying they add them as unit options, but then also say, well, you can take them by themselves as their own army, and we're just going to like keep it an index or something, or maybe you can get
or even you have like, you know, your Chaos Demon Codex, but there's also the option to take those units in the god specific armies, because now we have each of the different 4 gods represented by a specific army book.
Yeah.
It's a possibility, I guess. I'd be pretty surprised. That seems to overrule years of precedent. I'd be more surprised in Games Workshop doing something to reduce bloat than I would be. I'd be more surprised to see them do that than to like actually address that in another way by removing these armies. Do you know? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Dickie, like, what about you? Like, you're going back to World Eaters. That's kind of your thing.
Yep.
There's an area where you're like, man, let me take some Bloodletters. Let me take a Skull Throne.
I mean, I guess I'm pretty happy with the list. I've been really playing around with the new the Wrath detachment. So I've been pretty happy with that. I mean, variety is the spice of life, but I don't think I would want to take away the demons the demon player's ability to play their demon army. So
Oh,
um,
I don't care about that. Those guys
Yeah,
are
yeah.
idiots.
It would be hilarious to see the fallout from it, to be honest.
World Eaters need new units way more than even Death Guard does.
Yeah, yeah.
And
yeah, but
So-
they were just released like a couple of years ago, right? So
Yeah. So they get 1 unit per year.
like I would imagine the Emperor's Children will have like 4 to 5 units in their codex.
Will
That's
you
it.
be pissed when Emperor's Children get like double the range the World Eaters have?
Yeah, extremely pissed, and then I'll buy it. So then, who really wins? Like,
so my wallet will be pissed.
yeah,
Not that
exactly.
pissed.
Oh, my Christmas money.
This is just a fun thing I found, Danny, that I thought you would enjoy here. Yeah, Joel, no hand stuff. The hand stuff's on Saturday nights. Weeknights are for the discussion. Saturday night is hand stuff. Which, by the way,
yeah. I was going
hand
to say, Danny
stuff.
has an OnlyFans page that you can go to. I'm sure he'll show his hands to you.
Hand stuff, also a great name for a painting stream.
Yeah.
This
Just
is a
hand
lovely meme.
This is a lovely meme.
I don't know what mooping is.
Danny, take us through it for the audio listener.
So it says the 2 types of Loyalist Primarchs in 40K. One shows a caricature of Rabute Guliman as Bobby from King of the Hill.
Yeah.
And
You're gonna
it
say
says
Bobby
under
Lee?
him, and the other one is the lion. And so under Bobby, it says gets revived by cringe faction.
Eldar.
Whereas the lion wakes up randomly. Also not accurate. And then Bobby needs the entire Terran court to fight Magnus / captured by Morty, whereas the lion just absolutely dumpsters Angron in a 1v1 melee duel. Amazing.
That's
And
true.
true. That's factual.
That is factual. That was a really good fight.
And then this says moops around and does nothing for Bobby. Lion
Mopes.
leaves. I think it's mopes, yeah.
I think, but moops.
And then Bobby says refuses to shut up. True. And the lion refuses to elaborate. Also true. That's because of the autism, though, not because of anything else.
You gotta watch those. Maybe he has the moops too.
Maybe you would never know though, because he's not.
He's not gonna tell you about it.
You
No,
are
he's not gonna-
absolutely
yes.
100% not allowed to look the lion in the eye. Otherwise, he gets very nervous.
Don't like touch his ears or do any of this.
Yeah. But the 2 Primarchs were, well, and we talked about this a little bit on Saturday, Dickie, but Danny, what are you going to take on here? Like, the lion was obviously the one that had to come back based on sort of where the lore is, because a lot of your other ones would show up, look at the Imperium, look what Gilliman done, and be like, the fuck? No, we're going to fix this now. Whereas the lion is currently trying to just get all of his get the band back together.
Yep. And redeem his sons, man. He's got such a noble cause, really. Just an absolute Chad. Probably one of the best
He was
characters
kind
in
of a
40K.
dick before he fell asleep. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah,
You know
so
what?
what, man? He got shit done.
When I'm sleepy, I'm kind of a dick too, Dickie. So
Yeah.
if I took a
Yeah, Dick,
10,000
think
year
about
nap,
that for a
Are you
minute.
saying the lion needs a sandwich and a nap? Is that what you're saying?
yeah,
Maybe.
we talked about a little bit. On,
He's just groggy from having slept so long. You know when you wake up sometimes from a nap? you're
Oh,
like,
you having too long of a nap, and it turns.
Yeah,
into a
I
sleep?
slept for like
Yeah.
3 hours when I meant to sleep for like 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's dicey.
Dickie and I talked about it a little on Saturday, but we're now at 4 Trader Primarchs back, 2 Loyalists. Narratively, who comes back next and why?
Did you ask Dickie or me?
Just you. Dickie and I already talked about
already
this.
talked
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, who do I think do
yeah.
I think would be next to come back for Loyalists?
Because we said, we said,
Corax.
Really? That's
Huh.
a very
Well, yeah, because we already know what he's doing. I mean, they had a whole book about it. He beats the shit out of Lorgar and he memes on him, and then he leaves because he turns into like a flock of ravens and more.
Everyone memes the shit out of Lorgar.
so he's the
Look, I'm not just going to
chaotic
sit
alpha.
here and take your shit talking Lorgar, one of the greatest Primarchs of all time.
You're the Lorgar fan. Oh, I didn't know.
He has a tragic story. You probably haven't even read his book, so you don't know shit about it.
I
Obviously.
did read Logar's book, actually.
Look, if Lorgar has 1 million fans, Danny is one of them. If Lorgar has 100 fans, Danny, or 1 fan, Danny is that fan. If Lorgar has no fans, Danny has died.
I know. I didn't.
I'm basically
know he was a
Erebus.
Logar fan.
Yeah, it's very fun to point out that he's a terrible person. And I'll let you decide whether that's Danny or Lorgar. This picture right here, I will say I didn't understand it until I saw the cat.
Wait, no, hold on a minute. Rewind.
What?
Okay.
What Primarch do you guys think is coming back?
The lion, not the lion. The wolf, the Russ.
Lehman Rust?
Yeah. Well, here's the
boring Primarch.
It can't
Garbage Primarch,
You
actually.
guys hate. Why do you hate Space Wolves so much?
because they're just degenerates. But
They're player based mostly.
yeah. Burns in chat is coming in here saying Dorn with a bolter hand. I don't think it's going to be Dorn because narratively he's very similar to Gulliman right now. But when he showed up, he'd be like, "Yo, what the hell is going on here?" And then that would cause too much, I think, conflict.
What the hell's going on here?
I feel like him and the Lion would get on real well because
But
they
they
could
would
just
be-
like.
I feel they would be split by the cicatrix because the Lion is nice and safe with Nihilus, right?
Yeah.
And then so you have to kind of, I think it has to be someone that's over on Nihilus. So they can't affect the day-to-day of the Imperium.
So 11th edition is the Imperium Tertius, and there's another warp rift that splits.
Dorn can come back until it turns into like 7 tiny warp rifts.
Yeah, well, like first it was like, right, like the Cicatrix Maledictum.
Yeah.
And then 11th edition is like another one. So you got 4 quadrants.
The John Michael Vincent quadrant. But no, I think like Sanguinus is in with a shout.
So dumb. Like
With some well, Dickie's like, well, he's dead. I know he's in
he's
stasis.
so dead.
Dude, everyone's in stasis or missing. Like everyone's coming back.
There's a diorama of him being dead in Warhammer World.
Everyone's coming back.
He's just injured, Dickie. He lost his last wound. We all know
Did he
that's
lose his
not dead.
whole head. Okay, sure.
I was listening on my very long commute home today. I was listening to Shield of Baal, and I was going towards the end. And I think my favorite part is when, and spoilers, but when Dante is dying and talking to Sanguinus, and he's like, "Let me die. I've served you so long. I'm ready to die." And Sanguinus is like, "Lol, no," and just sends him back to life. It's just like they do this really eloquent thing about how he's at peace. He is himself. He is happy with his service. He is good to go. And then Sanguinus is just like, "Nah, you're not. You got to live a little bit longer."
Yeah, sorry, bro.
Sorry,
Back
bro.
to work, bro. Yeah.
He just Sanguinus treating him like a line cook at a Burger King.
He is.
But yeah, this picture here, I was like, I don't get this. I guess I get it a little bit because it's 4 washes perilously close to the edge of a desk.
That's dangerous, bro.
Then I saw the cat hiding under the desk, who I want to say is photoshopped in.
Yeah.
That gives me so much anxiety, John.
Yeah.
What are some of your top hobby anxieties or Warhammer
That
anxieties?
is one of them for
Okay.
100% sure.
What's another sort of anxiety you have from Warhammer? Let me tell you one of mine. When my opponent says, "Hey, can you just pass me that model?" and I go to pick it up and it just disintegrates.
They blames you. He was all a ruse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to say the taste of Q-tips.
Why would you taste Q-tips?
to get
Oh
the
my
It gives me
opponent
a
out.
lot of anxiety. The
gosh.
texture on my tongue and stuff, or on my teeth, just makes me feel
Oh.
real weird.
You know what gives me anxiety? Cleaning my airbrush. That is the worst process. I hate it. I hate cleaning it. I hate that I never clean it right. I hate that it's always backed up. Airbrush. Yeah, airbrush.
And then I think my other one as well, I have anxiety about after an event being messaged on Facebook like, "Hey, you cheated these 3 ones. These 3 rounds, you got this one rule wrong, and that's why you came 6. So we're gonna have to ban you from all community events forever because we as a community overreact to people playing games sometime."
Yeah. Yeah.
John, it has to happen more than once, I think, really, for that to happen. Don't worry.
Also, you have to get to 6th place.
Or it has to be like actual cheating.
You got some scrappy do level TOs out there who are just like, oh, I'm going to show this guy. I'm going to rile this up and get it going. Then they say they don't. They don't. It's fine. It's fine. Let's get this off screen. It's making me feel icky.
Yeah.
Luckily for you, you live in one of the places in America that has probably some of the best regional tournament organizers in the country that are fair-minded and actually enforce things and keep a list of when people fuck shit up.
Yeah.
You know, I know the last person who kept a list, and they're not the favorite person in the world. But that's okay.
You're checking it twice.
Yeah. Yeah, the Pacific Northwest regional Warhammer organizers are just Santa and his elves.
Mhm.
Oh, nice.
How they go. This one, it finished with your honor with these
I'm
objectives.
not the only one.
I rest my case. So, Danny, using all of your lawyer knowledge, we have by now we all know that the Emperor of Mankind is now Lorgar. And the Emperor of Mankind is a red
Now,
flag.
Lorgar, that's a real man.
Yeah, let me explain. The Emperor is an atheist, a man with no faith. Lorgar is a highly spiritual person, a man of faith and moral principles based.
Sigma.
Lorgar, we're missing the R in Lorgar, by the way, the whole time here. He's a Sigma male. An intellectual has written many useful books. Can the Emperor even read?
Probably not.
Well, apart from they did a Yu-Gi-Oh duel to settle the Horus heresy.
Oh.
He's got to be able to read the cards to know which one to kind of let
you
rip
don't.
or whatever it
You
is.
just have to know the symbols.
Oh, that's fair. Isn't reading just knowing the symbols and what they mean, though?
Kind of, yeah.
That doesn't sound right.
Look, I barely have an English degree from a very prestigious party school I got in my late 30s, so let's hold off the thing here. The Emperor has female custodies. Cringe, and a sign that he hates everything manly. Lorgar is more secure in his masculinity and has the word bearers who are all male space marines. Lorgar is friends with Erebus and many other Giga Chads. The Emperor has no friends.
What a wimp.
Lorgar is such a chill person that each demons like him and want to hang out with him. He also looks out for his people and provides spiritual guidance. The Emperor hates his children and probably doesn't even pay child support.
Yeah,
Oh.
Lorgar, real father figure.
Stand-up guy.
Emperor, deadbeat dead.
Do you feel because the Emperor is alive in the Golden Throne that he has a lot of back child support payment? Or
So much, dude.
has he had to keep paying over the millennia?
Trillions of credits in accrued interest.
The Emperor has long hair like some smelly hippie. Lorgar shaves and has superior body hygiene.
Bad.
Why suffer the emotional terrorism that is the Emperor of Mankind when you can be friends with the biggest Giga Chad in the universe, Lorgar?
Wow.
Be
That's
cool if you spelled his name right, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure. No, he's talking about someone else. You're thinking Lorgar? This is about Lugar? He was
Oh,
he's just a
I
word
don't know
bearer's
anything about
captain.
Logar.
Lugar is like the coolest guy, though. Like every time they're in the drop out, just smooth jazz the whole way down.
Look, Lugar sounds like Luger, and he has a name. He's named after a gun. That sounds awesome as hell.
Yeah. This one I enjoyed. Pick a 40K story. Keep one character. The rest are played by Muppets. Danny, go.
Okay, the Emperor's Gift.
Okay. Which is the real character?
Yeah, which is the
The
real
Inquisitor.
character?
Inquisitor and the rest are Muppets?
Yeah, just Muppet Grey Knights.
Yeah. I want to say the entirety of the Siege of Terra. John
Oh.
Grammaticus is a character. The rest are played by
That's
Muppets.
Muppets. That makes a complete
That sounds
sense,
great,
actually.
actually. Watch that.
Dickie.
What about you, Dickie?
Was it the Red Path? It's the Karn one. So right after they change, and basically Karn has to go find Angron. Angron's the only real character. Everyone else is played by Muppets.
I think I'd like to see Karn as the only real character trying to talk to a puppet Angron or a Muppet Angron.
I think it's just funnier the puppet tries to talk to Karn, though. I think that's like, his little wiry hands. yeah. It's like, hey.
He has a little emotion chart he holds up to show how he's feeling moment to moment.
Yeah.
Oh, what else we got here?
Like one of those octopuses you can turn inside out that has a different face on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, there's
This
the
attack.
picture from that book, I think. Yeah.
That is, yeah. Guys, which motherfucker stacks more bodies? The greatest mortal champion of the blood god himself, or some just pencil pusher, the administratum?
I think the pencil pusher
What?
wins like by a
That
mile,
was
right?
from the book with Karn, World Eaters versus Blood Angels. It was a campaign book. I don't remember what it was called. But yeah, anyway, probably the administrative guy, honestly.
Yeah, he probably gets a lot of people dead.
Khorne cares not for when the blood flows. Could a champion of Khorne just be some dude in an office?
I mean, maybe.
He manages a blood bank.
He sends guard off to die. Yeah.
I guess he can do a skull bank where it's like the pulse of your skull.
Called an ossuary, John. Yeah.
You pay in skulls.
You paint skulls. Yeah. There's no jokes
You
now.
can
When I just
pre-sell your skull before you die, and that guy will come and collect it after you pass.
yeah. Danny, you put a post on the Alaska local Facebook page.
Yes, I did.
Oh no.
Give us some backstory. What led you to take this path and kind of this little thing we're calling narrative trash or competitive trash? And it is how we're rounding out our fun today. So let's make it a good one.
Okay. So I made a post because I've noticed locally that we haven't really been running any like standard 2,000 point events that use like Brian Nexus missions and cards.
Oh.
We're running 1,500 point events every month that are narrative with custom missions that are designed to be fun, which I appreciate. And like, is going to a tournament like that a good time? Absolutely. But would I like to play like actual games of 40K? Yes, I would like that very much. And I would like to have a place where we can play those 3 times a day. So I posted in our local Discord or in our local Facebook group. I made a post asking people if they had like what were their reasons if you come to like these events but you decide not to go to, or attend like the 2,000 point events, like what are kind of some of the hangups for why you want to attend those? And we got a bunch of interesting responses from a bunch of different people.
Nice.
Did. So let's go through some of those responses, which I probably should have pulled up, but we don't. But I guess first off, could you define for me what would you call narrative trash and what would you call competitive trash?
Do you mean like as a player or like
what's like a narrative event? What's a competitive event?
Sure.
Or what's a narrative player, competitive player? Like why different?
Yeah, sure. I don't think there's a lot of difference, honestly. I think that in general, competitive players are interested in. Okay, I hope this doesn't come off as condescending because I don't mean it to. But I think that a lot of narrative players are not interested in getting better at 40K. I think they're just interested in playing and rolling dice with their friends. Whereas people who are more interested in competitive 40K are interested in practicing and getting better at the game and kind of leveraging that to win more games when they play against people. And that not just the act of winning matters, but the act of getting better is what matters to competitive players.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So a competitive event, I would say, comports to like some of national standards for tournaments. And like, I would say like, because almost every single event that I've ever seen is in general 2,000 points playing whatever the standard mission pack is at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas narrative events can run the gamut from a bunch of different things. It could just be like a 40K friendly style, which is like really just be nice while you play, but play whatever you want. That the one that gets run at LVO, or like to the point, you could be talking about narrative weekends where you're playing a campaign, where you could be playing custom missions or different points values, or like an escalation tournament or something like that. So those are kind of some of your options as far as that stuff goes. That would be the difference between those two things, I think.
So competitive play does get a bad rap, or at least a bad name, and it's kind of like almost like working in a restaurant, like a night shift, day shift kind of thing, where competitive players sometimes hint that narrative stuff is ruining the game. Narrative, very similar. where narrative players are just like comp players are just terrible, and there seems to be that kind of big divide.
Yeah, and I think it's okay to like playing both types. Like I enjoy both ways of playing for sure. I love playing like narrative fun games, but I would say I also probably enjoy a little bit more kind of standardized games of competitive 40K. Like that's probably like what I like the most, but I understand why people like both. And I think that kind of idea that like it has to be adversarial is really not in the best interests of everyone in the hobby, because it's important that we all are working together to make cool communities and cool events and getting more people to play and getting more exposure and being good ambassadors. And so if you're crushing people competitively at like a tournament and like not being a good sportsman, I think that's very wrong. And you shouldn't be doing that. You should be an exemplar of the hobby and like represent yourself well, but also make sure that your opponent's playing by the rules and like, and all of that is fine. Though that can exist in both spectrums, I think.
Yeah. Dickie, you're on the other coast. Danny's always talking about his West Coast kind of Alaska community and kind of what's happening there. You're seeing over there, like narrative versus competitive. Obviously, you're very ingrained in the competitive scene there on Eastern Seaboard. Narrative, what's your take?
To be honest, I don't get to see a lot of narrative stuff. I know it exists, but it's not really in my purview. Being with the Team Canada, it's like competitive or generally nothing. And to be honest, I guess to counter Danny's point, I actually would like to see some more narrative stuff. I'd maybe be more involved in it because it's always competitive, and it does get a bit. I think the word is grindy. It does get it rather grindy, and like always trying to be better, always pushing for the next information that you can kind of store away from your next event. So yeah,
it's good to have that palate cleanser, right?
Yeah, 100%.
It's nice though that Dickie treats narrative events like the ice wall that surrounds our flat Earth, and that he's aware it exists, but he's just never seen it.
No one invites me to it. I'm not a friend of the narrative community, I guess. I don't know.
Going to
you hate the narrative community.
I don't hate them. That's your word. Much like your hate for horses. I don't.
True. I do hate horses.
I have more negative experiences with narrative players than I do with competitive players.
I can see that. Yeah.
And now
that has been my experience as well.
I have been curb stomped by competitive players. I've played some very good players, and they have beat me very swiftly. But narrative events, and I talked to Danny about this a little bit, like I played in it as well. There's a few different kind of player archetypes that go to narrative events over comp events. Your first one is your small big fish in a small pond. They have their little group of 3 or 4 players. They play regularly in in their garage or at home, away from the stores, away from sort of the meta, and they have their kind of casual games towards each other. And they'll come in with an expectation of success. But because their pool and their experience is so small, they don't get it. And that leads to what I like to call SFS, or salty fucker syndrome, where they just become unfun to play against because in their head they're not winning when they should be. The other kind of player I come up against is the player who found just a really great Necron list online, or a really great list online. And it's the meta list from 3 months ago, but they've finally built it. They've finally kind of got it all painted. It's all beautiful and put together. But these lists, you need to play them and know how to pilot them and how to win. Otherwise, you're just going to do really bad with them. So they get these great lists. They're like, oh, I'm going to stomp because I'm taking a Shatterstar Necron detachment. But because you don't know what you're doing with it, like I can put like my 5-year-old in the front seat of my car and turn on the engine, but he's going to crash that because he don't know what he's doing with it.
Right.
So they go to the narrative events because there's a little bit more, like they say it's less competitive, but really they're getting less competition for their games, for their expectation of just winning. By the way, Dickie, chat's roasting you.
Like really bad. Like they're
really
not even.
badly.
Yeah.
That's why Dickie's not invited to poutine parties.
Yeah, I love poutine.
And what I think, Danny and Johan in chat has this spot on for why competitive events, I guess all three of us prefer, is he said in sociological terms, it concerns arriving at a shared definition of a situation and reaching a working consensus. So why don't you take us through kind of why your preference is for competitive events for general play?
Yeah, and I think this actually makes perfect sense. The reason I like that, I like competitive events, is because I don't have to like work on arriving at this shared like definition of the situation, right? Like we all already know what we're supposed to do when we get to this event. Like it's supposed to be like you're playing tough lists, but you're playing the game. You're not trying to be an asshole. You're trying to have fun, like all of that stuff. But I don't have to worry that like my list is too hard or that like maybe it's too soft. Like there's always like this kind of weird balancing act with narrative that I don't, probably the thing I don't like the most is like I feel like I have to balance myself against my opponent. And so if I go to a narrative event and I have three different opponents, I don't know that I'm going to be like, I don't know that because my army might be unbalanced against one of them, like that could make the whole day miserable because I had like a bad game because somebody didn't comport to the same kind of like conclusion that I did on what was fair to bring to this event. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I will say the most unbalanced games I've played have been narrative games. We all laugh and joke about kind of old 6th, 7th edition ITC, where it was like kill one, kill more, hold one, hold more, and kind of the repetitive and boringness of that after a while. But all of my blowout, really weird wins was because I was able to figure out the loophole in the mission. Like the one that stands out for me is there was like a round 3 where the TO was just like, we're going to encourage everyone to tidy up their models in the table quickly. So the mission rule is when you get within like a foot, 12 inches of the center, you can lift your models up. And how many models you lift off the table, that's how many victory points you got. My entire army moved minimum 12 inches. So turn 1, essentially, I took my entire army off the board. And he's like, oh, I'm going to kill that one unit there. And I'm like, cool, go ahead and kill it. But I won by 1,900 points already. Because the missions that we have now, Pariah Nexus, you can't find the cards anywhere, but they are tested, they are balanced, they are updated and changed and made to feel like they're balanced and they're what you're getting going in. Another example, a narrative like forever ago when I first started getting into the narrative league, it was a 500 point like week 1 league game, and I came in with my orcs. I'm like, yeah, this is going to be great. And my opponent had like 15 mortar teams. And it's
fun.
That's not fun. Another narrative game that I played is I played like a 10,000 point aside, like massive all day game. And our two opponents, they were guard and me and my friend were orcs. And the way the table was laid out, there was a bunch of the cool fortifications. So there was like the Fortress of Vengeance. There was a bunch of bastions and bunkers. Like, oh yeah, we get all these for free. I'm like, oh, so you just get 4,000 points of fortifications for free? So we can't assault. And she was like, well, it's narrative. And I was like, well, it might be fun for you to sit in a bunker and shoot all of our stuff to death in this no man's land with no cover. But what's my experience going to be like for that?
Right.
And I think
narrative.
I think narrative events and narrative players, like they treat the story and the vibe above all else, but fail to take into account the people and people aspect.
Sure.
I'm not trying to rally against narrative events because, dude, we've played some rad narrative events and they can be super fun. But you're right, it does involve like a different kind of thing. Because if you go in and like say, if I'm playing against someone round 1 and they haven't played a lot of 40k or they play 1 or 2 games, my list could be really trash, but I'm probably going to win. But like, how do I make that a good experience?
Do you remember when we brought those 2 orc lists? Like right when the orc book came out in 8th edition?
Yeah.
And We had a great time narratively. I think and our opponents had a good time too, because killing orcs is easy, so it's always fun to kill orcs.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I think for me, when I look at a narrative event, it's like, and again, I'm by no means a top player or a very good player, but like, how do I power myself to the level that this event is going to be? Rather than how am I going to improve and be better and do the best I can at this game, I go into it looking a bit like, hey, how am I going to make this a fun experience for everyone I play?
Yeah.
And that's really hard to do sometimes. Yeah. Dickie.
Yeah.
Closing thoughts.
I like poutine and I like narrative. No,
not according to chat. You don't.
It's tough, man, because I think the cool thing about going to like a RTT, like a competitive RTT or GT for that matter, I think everyone understands what you're doing. You're bringing a kick-ass list, and your intention is to try to win, right? And I think, go ahead.
No, I'm like, you don't necessarily have to bring the most kick-ass list, but bring a list that you want to play and try and do the best that you can with it. Like, I think that's okay too.
But you as the player understand what you're getting into, right? Like
you have to have those expectations. Yeah.
I think the issue maybe with the narrative portion that maybe you're expressing is that you may not, like, maybe the same people didn't get the same memo in that whole narrative design, because who wants to be the orc player fighting against, like, running over no man's land in order to, like, just lose automatically? That's not fun. So yeah, no, I totally get you.
Crib Shadow in chat is saying, I feel like when people who like narrative talk about comp, it's about those super duper cheesy OP lists. But here's the deal. Here's why I love comp is, how do I beat that? What I got to do. It's
not a fun puzzle.
It's a puzzle. I mean, that's all. And sometimes I can't solve puzzles real good, but I can work around it. And to Dickie's point, I'm going to LVO in 2 weeks. My list is not an optimized Chaos Knight list. It is a list that I'm taking that I think I will do okay with and have fun. And when I'm talking to people about it, like, oh, you should add Nurglings, or you should add horrors, or you should do this stuff. And you're like, I could do that, but I wouldn't have as much fun with it. And I wouldn't, it's not what I want to do. So, and doing that, knowing I'm not taking the most optimized thing, I'm probably going to go like 2-4, maybe 3-3, right? Just seeing how it goes. But kind of being honest with yourself, these comp events, it's not people taking bring all comers, like, gonna smack you down, be an awful person list. It's just you have unrealistic expectations of what's gonna happen at that event.
Yeah, I agree.
Boom.
I'll agree.
Roasted. We gotta update this graphic, guys. Well, I guess not, because technically it's still correct. You won't see us on Saturday.
You'll see our hands.
Dickie, Danny, and I will be pulling out the only hands this Saturday. Same bad time, same bad channel, about 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Canadian, and then
10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah,
6 p.m. Alaska for Burns in there. So you got there. I will be hopefully eBay will deliver the last model that I need to assemble and paint tomorrow, so I can actually get that in. Dickie, what you working on?
I was asking. So I ordered a Demon Prince. He's maybe on his way.
Nice.
So, Dickie and I's hobby participation on Saturday entirely depend on the United States Postal Service. I know, I guess the Canadian Postal Service.
But yeah, Canadian, and they were just on strike, so it's dicey. So
I have plenty of Trader Guard to build, so I'll be okay.
Oh, nice.
So Danny's going to be working on some Trader Guard. And then essentially it just devolves into us speaking a whole bunch of crap. If you were watching last Saturday, you would have seen the exclusive Discord Patreon member benefit and YouTube member benefit that we're bringing to the channel start of next month, which is a little thing we ordered that you can print out in your 3D printer to say thank you to everyone who supported us over the years inexplicably. Like, why would you? If you add up, if you've given us $1 a month for the entire time we've done this show, that's like $40.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Yeah,
we appreciate you very much.
buy more hydro packs because they don't give them for free.
Yeah.
And then Crypt Shadow Danny always painting and playing traders. First Dark Angels, now Trader.
Oh, get it? He made
I got the thing for this.
Hey.
Because they're fallen.
Mine are loyal, but
They're risen now. Wait, your Trader Guard are loyal? Wait, sorry.
well, no, they're not.
They're
not.
loyal
They're
to
traitors.
Lorgar, maybe.
Yeah, the true king.
Yeah.
Are they gonna follow? Are you gonna paint them in a scheme that Lorgar is gonna be hanging out in, or what?
Well, there's several different regiments, so I'm painting them all. I'm painting those regiments in different colors. But I'll paint like all my Cadian guys the same colors, and then I'll paint all my Australian guys the same colors, and then anyway.
Dickie, you call your demon prince Lorgar.
I could call him Lorgar. Yeah, I'm excited. I've been playing a lot with the demon prince instead. My list is called Nogron. I don't have Angron in my list.
Oh,
And I have this demon prince, and he can get
Old-
all. Oh, go ahead.
old of you not to use 1/5 of your entire codex.
Well, he's really good though. But anyway, so I'm using the demon prince who's 200 points, but you can give him a little enhancement, and he gets to walk through walls. And I find it's a lot easier to move demon princes when they can just walk through walls.
True. As someone who's running a lot of baby knights, walking through walls is just peak fun.
Dude, the lion straight up loves that shit.
Yeah.
Anything you guys want to touch on before we sign off for the night?
No.
Praise Lorgar.
Praise Lorgar.
Praise Luger.
We'll be back on Saturday for our hands, but these faces, these are on lock until Tuesday. So you're welcome because no one wants to see that.
Oh, dear.
But for Graham After Dark, I've been John.
I've been Danny.
And I've been Dickie.
And we'll see you, maybe. You.
Just the one of you.